He was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this.
It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense.
Gervonta Davis is taking his training to the next level. Sparring with heavyweights before his big fight with Jake Paul, Davis isn't holding back. He's trading punches with much bigger fighters and proving his power matches theirs. One session got so intense that a heavyweight was reportedly shaken after Davis landed a huge punch.
Oh, no, you're right.
But tell people what happened.
Man, I was about to spar. Before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga. He hit him so hard that he was on the top of the rope just like this. I'm like,
Gervonta Davis is turning heads again by sparring hard against heavyweights. Known for his knockout power in lighter divisions, Tank is showing that size doesn't limit him. In recent footage, he's seen landing sharp, fast combinations that make bigger fighters uncomfortable. The way he moves, dodges counters, and fires back shows how serious he is. Every round helps him improve both his power and stamina, key skills for facing a bigger man, like Jake Paul.
Look like you're playing pool with a short stick. Fall in between him. Fall in between him. Punch when he punch, yeah. Punch when he punch. Punch when he punch. Yep. They ain't stopped firing. We slowed down. Now we're gonna commence firing again. That's what we do. We reload and come back. Yeah, you ain't gotta get close, Tank, because we know you're scared to get close. Get close, Tank. Keep rolling, Cal. All the way down the road. Come to me, baby.
Even though Davis is smaller than his sparring partners, he keeps testing himself against much heavier boxers. These sessions aren't about showing off, but about sharpening accuracy and control. He's learning to manage distance, keep pace, and stay explosive under pressure. His coaches say it helps him prepare for Jake Paul's awkward fighting style. Since Jake's biggest advantage is size, Davis is removing that fear by training with heavyweights. It's a smart plan built on discipline and confidence, ensuring he's ready for anything once the fight begins.
Here's a clip of Gervonta Tank Davis releasing footage of him training and sparring with the heavyweight ahead of his showdown with YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul that's set to take place November 14th in Atlanta, Georgia at the State Farm Arena. Tank Davis is 5'4" and he weighs in at 135. His last fight, he actually was 133 pounds. Jake Paul is 6'1" with a 76-inch arm reach, and he weighed in at 199 pounds his last fight. And fight before that, he weighed in at 224 pounds. Gervonta Tank Davis has a 67-inch arm reach. This is why this fight has to be ruled an exhibition and not a real professional boxing match, because no boxing commission would sanction it. Let me know what y'all think about this. As you see, Tank Davis is using and working on movement. Let me know. I'm gone. Peace.
Former UFC star and analyst Chael Sonnen says, Gervonta Davis carries boxing's reputation on his shoulders in this fight. He explained that while Jake Paul brings attention to the sport, it's Tank's job to remind fans what real boxing looks like. For Sonnen, this is more than a fight. It's a message. Davis wants to show that skill, timing, and years of experience mean more than online fame. Sonnen said a knockout wouldn't just be a win. It would prove to everyone what true, elite boxing really is.
Which is to let anybody know that's listening that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skills, of which I have an abundance of and of which you have none of. My life's commitment and dedication versus a second or third or fourth thought in the world of priority on your list. And I used to believe those things. Now, I go back far enough in MMA that I've had my eyes open a number of times. The fact that karate was so incredibly useless, or the fact that Jeet Kune Do was so incredibly useless, like these were not things that I would have bet on when I was in high school. As a wrestler at that time, I would not have assumed that I would fare well in a fight against somebody that knew Kung Fu. we had all been falsely led through Hollywood. Not through competition, not through sport, not through understanding of the game, but just through Hollywood. We were told that those guys were the most dangerous guys. So, we then eventually get up to Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, which had a weight discrepancy, but it was very small. I mean, I watched him weigh in, I want to say it was like 8 pounds.
As fight week approaches, reports confirm that Davis is still sparring with heavyweights. These aren't light workouts, they're full power sessions that push him past his limits. His trainers say the goal is to make the real fight feel easier. After facing tougher competition in camp, the heavyweights force him to react faster, move his head more, and use his power efficiently. Each round builds his confidence, showing that his timing and accuracy beat size and strength. It's an unusual but smart approach that proves how seriously he's taking Jake Paul. Legendary boxing coach Teddy Atlas praised Gervonta Davis as one of the strongest and most skilled fighters today. Atlas said Jake Paul's size advantage won't matter once the fight starts. Davis's experience against top fighters gives him an edge Jake can't match. He's faced every style: counterpunchers, pressure fighters, tall boxers, and defensive experts. Atlas explained that while Jake hasn't faced real champions, Davis thrives under pressure. People asking, what if Jake lands one big punch? Miss the point. Tank's ability to adapt is what separates real fighters from entertainers.
Do have one guy who, yeah, he's smaller, but he's a top fighter. He can punch, and he's fighting a guy who's not a top pro fighter, who's bigger. What if he hits him on the chin? What if he hits him on the chin? It'll wind up selling, and that's what'll wind up selling it. The what if. What if Tank makes him do a cha-cha? He hits him on the chin, and Jake Paul, we're going to find out if he can dance. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, do the cha-cha. That's what's going to sell it. And you can't argue that what if. You can't. I know I get to places that other people won't go and everything else. They just dismiss stuff because it's easier to do that. It's safer to do that. You don't have the bows and arrows coming at you from people that argue with you because you did that. But I don't care. I've had bows and arrows my whole life. I don't care. But that's true. That what if? What if this guy who is a real good puncher, who is one of the best fighters in the world right now, what if he hits him? What if he makes a miss and he counters him? Or he jumps up in the air. Bang! And he hits him. Sid Terence was a great fighter. No, not the 1700s, but years ago. And Cus D'Amato told me he loved Sid Terence. He said, Teddy, he used to jump up in the air and hit you with 3 jabs. I said, whoa, man, Sid Terence. All right. Anyway, look, I can't finish without saying that it did invoke some memories and thoughts that we've been here before in a different way, where Jake Paul's brother fought Mayweather. That's not forget. And I'm not saying I like that either. I mean, first of all, Mayweather was past his prime. He was already retired. He was older, everything, but he's still the great Mayweather. And Mayweather was fighting a guy, what was it, 50-pound difference, 60-pound difference, whatever it was. And that size made a difference. It allowed Jake Paul's brother to be in there and be able to last with a smaller man, a smaller, older, greater fighter who's mostly was concentrating on defense more than just offense.
Analyst Max Kellerman shared that Davis may have accepted the Jake Paul fight to secure financial stability and spend more time with family. After years of nonstop camps and title defenses, Tank wanted a fight that was exciting, but also rewarding. Kellerman said Davis is thinking about slowing down to focus on family and mental balance. The Jake Paul fight, he believes, is more than business, it's a transition. It lets Tank earn big money while reminding the world that he's still one of boxing's most dangerous fighters.
You got a guy like Gervonta, who I personally think has been checked out for way longer than this last fight. I think he was checked out prior to the Roach fight. I thought this was all going to be in the works, where he was supposed to beat the 16-1 Roach and then go on to fight Jake Paul and then call it a career, because I think the people around him understood there wasn't much left in the tank for him in terms of his want or his desire to be here. He did an interview with Dan Canobio about 18 months ago where he was like, yeah, man, I just kind of want to raise my family. I don't know how much left of boxing for me. I don't want to see a therapist. I want to, I need to, but like, I don't want to take away from my fighting. But I think it's time for me to do stuff like that. So I think the writing's been on the wall for Tank for a while. So that draw was kind of just like, I was on the way out anyway. I don't need to go back in there. And I said it at the end of that fight. I'm like, there's no way we see that rematch. He was so uncomfortable in that ring with Roach. He doesn't want to feel that again. He showed that night. So I'm not surprised that fight's not happening. I'm not even surprised he's fighting Jake Paul now. It's a cash out.
During the press tour, analysts Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora highlighted how different Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis are. Jake, as usual, talked loudly and built hype with his charisma. Davis stayed calm, quiet, and ignored the trash talk. Mannix said Jake knows how to sell a fight, but Davis knows how to win one. Mora added that Tank's silence shows focus, not weakness. Both agreed that when the lights turn on and talking stops, Davis's skill and power will speak louder than any words.
And even though Jake Paul tried to egg him on and try to goad Gervonta Davis on, he's dealing with somebody that is not a quick-witted, thinker. He's not a quick-witted speaker. Tank Davis is explosive in the ring. He's fast and powerful in the ring. He's charismatic inside the ring when he's punching. But when you put a microphone in front of him, he's not articulate. He doesn't know how to quickly respond to people. He stutters a lot. He does more stuttering than talking. So Gervonta Davis in front of a microphone is not going to sell. So Tank Davis shouldn't be put in a podium like that. He should have speakers for him. He should have someone talking for him. He should have a mouthpiece. Tank Davis is not going to sell this fight. And Jake Paul knows it. That's the reason he kept throwing jabs at him. He tried to get Tank out of his shell. Tank's not quick verbally enough. He's not quick-witted. He's not quick with the tongue. So in order for him to sell this fight, he's going to have an adversary that can spit something back. Like, for instance, Chavez Jr., he didn't have that quick-witted response, but he had the backing. He had the loyal following. And Chavez Jr., like many Mexicans, don't need to speak because they do all their fighting in the ring, and people know that. Tank Davis, I don't know, man. He didn't look good in his last fight. He's not fighting the killers in his division. People are getting off that Tank train, and we know that he's had his issues outside the ring. The love's not there anymore. Tank Davis is losing a lot of passion, a lot of followers, and people aren't buying this circus that Jake Paul's trying to sell. And I'm glad that people are getting off this train. The commission in Georgia got off this damn train. That's why they had to move this fight to Florida, where anything could happen.
Former champion Tim Bradley revealed that Davis had limited options. Before taking the Jake Paul fight, he wanted a rematch with Lamont Roach, but talks fell apart. With few big names available and pressure from promoters, Jake Paul became the most realistic choice. Bradley said it might seem like a risky move, but it offers huge exposure and money. He explained that fans often don't see the business side, timing, management, and network politics all matter. No matter how it happened, Bradley believes Davis will make a statement and remind fans he's still world class.
I do. I'm not making no excuses for Tank at all, but this is just my perspective, man. Tank had no other choice but to do this fight, man. He had no other choice. He was in training for that Lamont Rose fight, and, then the covers got pulled off, and then this fight came about. This is an inside thing, man. I swear, man, I'm telling y'all, this is an inside thing. This is something that Al, PBC wanted Canelo to do, because this is how they eat. This is how they gonna eat. This is how they gonna recoup, As you know, PBC, they got no legs to stand on, man. Money going out, not enough money coming in. They got to spend their own bread, for everything, for everything. So, they need money coming in. And their guy, Canelo, left. He with Turkey now. They wanted Canelo to do this fight. And now Tank is obligated to do this fight, man. again, to save PBC. I promise y'all, man. I'm telling you. You know, Tank was already signed up to fight Roach rematch. He was already signed up, you know. You could just tell, man. I can tell, you know. Yesterday, listening to the press conference, I saw, like, I don't know what it was. It was something with Jalen Love, and it's like a secret. I don't know what that is. It's a secret, though.
After the press conference, some fans questioned whether Gervonta Davis was truly invested in the Jake Paul fight. They noticed his calm expression and lack of reaction to Jake's taunts. Some saw it as focus, others as boredom. The size difference also sparked debate about fairness. Many expected Tank to trash talk more, but he stayed silent, likely saving his energy for fight night. Those close to him say his quietness is part of his mindset. He's focused on the fight, not on words that don't win rounds.
Jake Paul legitimately cooked Gervonta Davis in that press conference, and I really don't know how to feel about that. And to be honest with you, I still don't understand how boxing even allowed this to be made. Like, I don't. Like, dog, this is not an overstatement. Like, literally one of the core pillars holding up boxing is, like, this literal, like, fake superiority complex that they have over literally every other combat sport. Despite literally being the least effective main combat sport there is. Brother, kickboxing, Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, brother, I put judo over I put boxing. In terms of practicality of combat, oh yeah, 100%. Brother, if Jake Paul makes it competitive against Gervonta Davis, I'm looking at this like, brother. Oh, well, weight difference, brother. Gervonta Davis has been training his entire life. I'm sorry, bro. It's bad enough that the fact that if this was under any other combat sport, this would literally be like one of the most one-sided matchups of all time. And it wouldn't be in favor of Davis. No, dog, if you did this under an MMA rule set, oh my gosh, bro, Paul cooks Gervonta. It's not close at all. Like, round one finish level. Like, understand this, Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul is taking place in literally the only combat sport where Davis should win. I'm still shocked that they allowed it to be made. Because, like, there's no upside. If Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis, now we're kind of looking like, wait a minute. What? Like, brother, don't forget. I still think it's a horrible look that Tyson Fury couldn't finish Francis Ngannou. That is so bad. Well, Francis Ngannou's a great boxer. Francis Ngannou, no joke, is one of the worst boxers to ever be in the UFC. He just has absurd power. No, look at the technique of Francis Ngannou. It's not that good. It's carried by power. Like, going into it, like, I'm hyped, but it's also, I'm looking at this like, bro, Gervonta has to finish, bro.
While Jake Paul is often blamed for turning boxing into entertainment, some critics now target Davis. They say by fighting Jake, he's supporting the influencer boxing trend he once criticized. Some fans feel disappointed, wanting him to face real contenders instead. But others defend him, saying boxing has always mixed sport with showbiz. For Davis, this fight is about proving real skill still matters. If he dominates Jake Paul, it could silence critics and restore the balance between spectacle and true boxing talent.
Jake Paul is not the problem with boxing, Tank Davis is. Jake Paul's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. He's a Disney Channel kid, YouTube star turned boxer. Of course, he's gonna make these stupid spectacle matchups. He doesn't care about his career, his legacy, or the sport. Meanwhile, we have Tank Davis, the heir apparent to Floyd Mayweather and Adrian Broner, who has real talent. And if he was actually consistent in the ring and was willing to get in with some of the best fighters in the world, he could be top 3 pound for pound best fighters in the sport. But instead, Tank just wants to hold up his division for 5 years and make a mockery of the sport, especially with this fight.